What would you do if the person you love the most, the one you gave up everything for, became the reason your world came crashing down? This is the story of Emily, a young woman whose heart was broken by betrayal, but who found faith, resilience, and victory in the end. Emily grew up in a small town full of big dreams. She wanted to be a lawyer, to fight for justice, to stand up for those who had no voice. Her parents were proud of her ambition, and when she earned a scholarship to study abroad, it felt like the beginning of a beautiful future. But then, Emily met Daniel. He was charming, attentive, and seemed to see her in a way no one else did. He promised her a life of love, security, and happiness. Against her parents' advice, Emily followed her heart. She gave up the scholarship, set aside her career ambitions, and chose marriage instead. At first, it felt like she had made the right decision. Their early days together were filled with laughter, joy, and sweet promises. Emily devoted herself completely to her husband. She cooked his favorite meals, encouraged his career, and made their little apartment feel like a home. But slowly, things began to change. The laughter faded. The warmth grew cold. Arguments began to take the place of tender conversations. "Why are you always complaining, Emily?" Daniel snapped one evening at the dinner table. "I gave up everything for this marriage, Daniel. Don't I deserve your love?" Emily whispered, her voice breaking. Daniel turned away, leaving her alone with her tears. As the months passed, Emily's heart grew heavier. She felt invisible in her own marriage. She had no career, no children, and no joy. She tried harder, hoping her sacrifices would make Daniel see her again, but instead, he grew even more distant. One evening, while Daniel was in the shower, Emily picked up his phone to silence a buzzing notification. Her heart froze when she saw the messages. Words of affection, promises of love, sent to another woman. Her hands trembled as she read them, her tears blurring the screen. That night, Emily confronted him. "After everything I gave up, after everything I sacrificed for you, this is how you repay me?" Her voice cracked under the weight of heartbreak. Daniel had no words. His silence was louder than any confession. Emily broke down. She fell to her knees, sobbing uncontrollably. In that moment, her world collapsed. She felt worthless, abandoned, and betrayed. But in her darkest night, something stirred within her. In desperation, she opened the Bible that sat by her bedside. Her eyes landed on a verse that pierced through her pain. "Though the righteous fall 7 times, they rise again." Emily wiped her tears. For the first time in a long while, she felt a flicker of strength. Her worth was not tied to Daniel's love. She still had a purpose, a life worth fighting for. The days that followed were not easy. She packed her bags and left the marriage that had stolen her joy. It was terrifying but necessary. With faith as her anchor, Emily enrolled back in school. She took on part-time jobs to support herself, often staying up late into the night, studying with weary eyes but a determined heart. Her parents, once disappointed in her choices, now became her biggest supporters. She also joined a women's fellowship at church, where she found sisters who prayed with her, encouraged her, and reminded her of her worth. Years passed. The scars of betrayal didn't disappear overnight. But with time, faith, and resilience, Emily's wounds began to heal. She learned to smile again. She learned to dream again. And then came the day she thought she had lost forever, her graduation day. Standing on stage in her black gown and cap, holding her degree with trembling hands, Emily looked into the crowd and saw her parents cheering with pride. Tears filled her eyes, but this time they were tears of joy. She had done it. She had rebuilt her life. What betrayal tried to destroy, faith had restored. As she addressed her classmates, Emily said, "I thought my story was over when my marriage ended, but faith rewrote my life. Betrayal broke me, but resilience built me again. I am proof that even in the darkest valley, you can rise. Emily's story is a reminder for all of us. No matter how broken your story feels, no matter how deep the betrayal, faith can turn pain into strength and heartbreak into victory. So if you are listening right now and you feel like your story is finished, remember, this is not the end. With faith and resilience, your greatest heartbreak can become the beginning of your greatest triumph. This was Emily's story of faith, resilience, and victory. If her journey touched your heart, please like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs encouragement today.